You tend to find that setbacks on your journey to your goals or your manifestations tend to really bother you and you don't want to be so bothered by them, this is a video for you. I have a little message that I felt called to share today about this. Now, setbacks and obstacles tend to annoy us most when we're in the headspace where we just want our manifestation, we just want our goal achieved. We don't want to be in the process anymore. It feels too difficult. Maybe we're scared it won't happen. We just want it to be easy and we're frustrated when something goes wrong or seems to go wrong. But recently, I was able to look at setbacks differently. And so I wanted to share this perspective with you. And hopefully it can help you like it helped me. Setbacks are a chance to realign with your goals. They're a chance to take a better look into the process of what you're doing and be able to realign with your values more rather than continuing to go down the wrong path that you are currently on. When you face a setback, rather than letting it take over and make you think that everything is just crumbling, everything's going wrong, it's not going to work out, instead of jumping to this, think, what could this be teaching me? Is there something that I need to reassess here? Do I like how this is going? Because the easiest way to get to your manifestation or to your goal is to make the process more fun. And this is important because it adds so much more positivity into it. And when you're having fun, things feel easier. So when you allow yourself to have fun in the process, rather than try and force something or do something just to hit that deadline in your mind or to keep going hard on that progress, when this is the way we're thinking, we're being too harsh. Do you notice how for successful people who enjoy their life, who love what they do and create out of love and joy and playfulness, they obviously enjoy what they're doing. They got to that point because they were able to make it fun and make it enjoyable and not put too much pressure on the situation, because it really holds you back when you do put too much pressure on the situation and when you're so set on it working a specific way. Rather than looking at it as something that needs to happen in the specific amount of time and you're putting in the logical approach and you're doing what you think is the most logical way to get it done, it takes the fun out of it. So rather than taking that approach, think, what would the kid version of me do to make this more fun? How can I make this more fun for myself? Am I having fun with the process that I'm doing right now? Or am I just doing it because I feel like that's going to be the fastest way to get me to my goal? Because if you're just doing it because it feels like it's the fastest way to get to your goal, but you're actually not having fun doing it this way, then it's going to take longer because you're not taking the right approach. This is when you get burnt out, and this is when you give up because you're just tired of it at that point. So a broad example of what I had been doing was I had been following this certain path that I thought was going to be the quickest way to get to what I wanted. And in doing that, I set a goal for myself to stay consistent for a certain amount of days. But I had ignored the fact that this was supposed to be a fun process, and it was starting to not be fun anymore, but I was still proud of myself for getting it done in that certain amount of time. Now, sometimes the universe will throw in some little sprinkle of inconvenience, a little setback, a little pause in your progress, and you're not seeing any movement, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? I need to change this right away. What is happening? This is all exploding. It's like, it's all going down the drain. Like, it's not going to work. Instead of thinking like that, which I did for a second, I was able to take a step back and saying, okay, am I even having fun doing what I'm doing? No. And I didn't even realize that at first. I was not having fun with what I was doing. I was doing it because it felt like the fastest way to get to my goal. I was putting more focus on this little easier goal that was supposed to be easier for me to stay consistent, just to prove that I could keep the consistency, rather than staying focused on the main thing as a whole that was supposed to be the most fun part. So I realized that what I was doing wasn't getting me there faster, and the setback was to show me this. Rather than looking at setbacks as the worst thing ever and such an inconvenience, ask, what is this teaching me? What do I need to take a step back and look at? Because there's always a reason for the setback. It's not just to be inconvenient. Are you enjoying what you're doing? How could you improve it in a way that makes it more fun? Are you actually getting off of your path, but you're not really noticing? Ask yourself these type of questions. Because once you get to the heart of it, it brings so much comfort to see what the actual meaning of it was, rather than letting yourself get mad about it. Because that's always what I used to do. I always used to get mad at all of the setbacks, and then I would end up giving up because I wasn't willing to look into it more. But since I started looking into it more, it made everything make sense. And as for obstacles as well, the obstacles make it fun too. Because if everything was just that easy, that you had nothing to work for, it wouldn't be as amazing when you get to the goal, because you wouldn't have anything to brag about, because everybody could do it. Because it was just that easy, and you could just have anything you want without having to think twice about it. And while that seems like a cool idea from an outside perspective, from the negativity perspective, it's not when you really think about it. And when you really think about all the things you worked for and achieved, and how amazing it felt when you were actually able to work through it and achieve it, because now you can be proud of yourself about it. And that's the most important thing. So the obstacles are important. And then the setbacks are also important. A lot of the times they're just put there to make you take a different perspective, a better look at what is really happening. And if you're really enjoying this, are you doing this the right way? Is this whole thing even right? Are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you doing this for you and the purposes of the joy and the happiness that it'll bring you? Are you doing it for superficial reasons? Why are you doing this? Is it because it's going to be something that's enjoyable and fun in the end? You have to learn to enjoy the process as well as the goal, because if you're just doing everything to get to the goal, it's going to be a lot harder to do. You're supposed to enjoy the process. I mean, life is a process. If you looked at everything as the beginning and the end, just black and white, I mean, that'd be like looking at yourself as being born here just for the end to be death. I mean, but what about the whole process of life? You're forgetting about the whole process of life. So remember, you're supposed to enjoy the process too. So find a way to enjoy the process. Make everything more fun. Put some more fun into it. It's supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun what you're doing, then it's time to reassess what you're doing or how you're doing it. And it's okay to have a setback and have to realize this, because a lot of the time we're trained into this working mindset and that everything's just for the goal. But it's not. So take a different look at everything. Not just that goal you're trying to accomplish that you're seeing a setback in. That setback does not mean it's not going to work out. That setback just means maybe there's a way, maybe you're going down the wrong path. And there's a turn right there that's going to take you directly to where you're supposed to be. So don't ignore the setbacks, because when the universe tells you to pause and take a better look, you better pause and take a better look, because it's trying to tell you something. So anyway, that's the message that I have for you today. This was more of a channeled message rather than something that I wrote down on paper. So I'll definitely do more channeled messages like this because I like doing them. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Remember, you're allowed to have fun in life. You're allowed to enjoy the process. And it's okay to have setbacks or obstacles. They're not the end of the world, and it does not mean that you're not able to have what you want. Anybody and everybody can have what they want as long as they believe in it, as long as they're going down the correct path. So don't go down the path of boringness, go down the path of funness instead. Okay? Thank you for watching this video. My channel is about things like this: self-improvement content, self-love, mindset shift, living a better life. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, I would love to have you in my community. So don't forget to subscribe. But Either way, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful.